in that bad cycle is then we crash and then we want more, and then it causes you to feel more exhausted and more moody. And so it's just a very vicious cycle. So our diet is absolutely crucial. And then with that though is that unfortunately we just can't have a perfect diet, because today our crops are not the same as they were 30, 40, 50 years ago. And so what's happened is that we really depleted a lot of the minerals in our soil, and then that affects like our fruits and vegetables. So broccoli today, unfortunately, isn't the same as broccoli 40 years ago.
You'd have to be eating like 40 heads of broccoli to get what you need,
Mm-hmm.
which is why we're so passionate about, I mean, we're not saying that supplements replace vegetables.
Right.
Absolutely.
They're so right. They're supplements. They're not replacements. So this is really about going hand in hand. So it's first doing, the diet, and then it's looking at supplementation for sure.
Okay, so B vitamins help so much with energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's four things we can look at when people are really low on energy. Typically, a new mom, if they're low on energy, that means they're either deficient in iron, B vitamins, vitamin D, which we kind of talked about already, but also protein. So can you
Mm-hmm.
talk a little bit about how protein is so crucial, not only for a new mom, but for a new baby?
Yeah. So so if you're nursing, then you probably know that a lot of your breast milk is composed of fats and protein. And what's so important is the hydration piece and then the protein. But again, we think about when we're exhausted and when little kids need us, and it's like, what do we turn to? It'll be the quick handful of pretzels, or it'll be the bowl of cereal. It's
Leftovers
just,
or whatever you gave your kids, like,
yes, they're finish off their mac and cheese or whatever it is. And so protein is so important for our breast milk production and for repairing our cells, and for just even healing with postpartum, after having a baby. But the thing too is that we need some options that are going to be fast and going to be convenient. And so whether that's, making a batch of hard-boiled eggs, or I love our protein that we use. I use Life Shake, and I love that because it's so convenient and it tastes so great, and it doesn't send my blood sugar crashing. And so I really like that because that's an important part too, that it stabilizes our blood sugar. And so the Life Shake has pre and probiotics too. And I don't know if you were going to talk about gut health.
yeah, we can go into
So,
gut health.
okay, so I don't know if you have ever heard that our gut is our second brain. And so, speaking of, we're talking about mood and things like that. A lot of that can come down to our gut. I think a lot of people now are learning that a lot of our immune system is in our gut too. But what people might not always understand is that gut-brain connection. I know for me, I have 3 little kids, and when I had my daughter 6 years ago, I really struggled with anxiety, postpartum anxiety, right after having her. And so anxiety's been an issue for me since I was like a teenager. And I had no idea about I love to eat healthy. I was taking what I thought were like good, whole foods, vitamins. I was trying to eliminate toxins in my home. But as far as like anxiety was concerned, I felt pretty helpless. I did see a counselor, which helped me so much. But and I think that's very common. I would think a lot of you probably could relate after having your first. It's terrifying. It's like, here's your baby, go home and care for them. Good luck. Like, you're just like, oh my gosh, like, and they're
When it's
not
time to leave the
latching.
hospital, I'm like, are you sure? Like right now? It's time? Anyways.
Right. Right. And they're so dependent on us. And I just wish I knew then what I know now. And one of those key parts is our gut health. And so I love that I brought up the Life Shake earlier. I love that that's a convenient source of protein for us. And I also really like that it has the pre and probiotics. But I also really love our Vitalizer strip. I actually need to go get that so I can show it to you guys. But that has our little probiotic in there. And what's really cool about
Yeah.
that,
Oop, there it is.
yes, Sam's got it. So that little tiny pearl, I love it because it's triple encapsulated. So I know it's going to get all the way down. It's going to withstand our stomach acid. It's going to get all the way down to our gut, which is where it needs to be absorbed. And so that's really going to help us with our mood. And another big thing with our mood is omegas. And so, again, babies need the omegas. I'm sure you hear a lot like how babies need DHA. And so the omegas are going to be really good for us too with our mood as well. And those are in that strip. The strip also has vitamins and minerals. It has that B complex we were talking about. It has sustained release C, which is another really important thing because I know for me, I really struggle with sleep. Like Sam, I'm totally relate when it comes to like the kids who you're just like, why do you like to sleep? Like I like to sleep. I mean, I was a good sleeper as a kid, and then I married someone who was not, and so I think that I blame him because
yeah. So, I would totally blame him.
And so what that affects too is what you were saying, Sam, is you were getting sick like all the time. And so we really have to address that, is that when we're stressed and when our sleep is down, immunity is another really important part, because otherwise, yes, we're going to be down for the count and moms just can't be. We have to stay healthy so that we can care for those kids. So that strip was just a game changer for me in terms of my immunity and my mood. And so I've been rambling.
I love the convenience of this strip too. We won't talk too much about sorry, I got a notification that we have 10 minutes left. We won't dive too much into products because we really want this to be more of an educational call about like what postnatal depletion is and what vitamins and nutrients can help. I mean, we will talk a little bit about the products, but not too much. But I will say the strip, I love it mainly from a convenience standpoint because especially like once you have multiple kids, you're gone a lot, right? Like you're flying out the door to go to school, you're going wherever you're going, all your kids' activities, and I'm not home to take all my different bottles all the time of what I need to take. And so that strip, it's like I can just take it in my purse or my diaper bag, or if I'm traveling, which our family does a lot, it's really easy. And it comes in a 1 month supply, so you can kind of track a little bit better. Have you been really good about taking your vitamins this week or this month? It helps you be accountable without you even feeling like you have to be, because you can see how many are left. So from a convenience standpoint, I mean, I think us moms are always looking for something to be easy to work. And so that strip has been really, really great. Going back to the gut health thing really fast, I mean, it is kind of a really cool thing we're all starting to learn. It's becoming more of a popular topic, which is awesome. But some other cool facts, 40% of our brain receptors are in our gut, and 70% of our serotonin, our mood stuff, is in our gut too. So when they say the term gut feeling, like literally our second brain is in our gut. So the more that we can keep good bacteria in there, not only is it going to help, from your immune system, your digestive system, also mentally too. And as moms, I think we need all three going at the same time.
I heard too that you pass on your gut health to your baby, like during birth, which I don't have like the facts on that, but I did hear that. And I'm so curious because my first two were so sensitive and colicky and gassy, and I never took a probiotic. So it'll be very interesting now that I have been taking one during this pregnancy to see if this baby has the same sensitive issues or not.
And sometimes it shows up as eczema in kiddos, and skin issues are actually can result from what's going on the inside. And it could be, from just unhealthy levels of the bad bacteria and not enough of the good bacteria. So yeah, it's pretty amazing how much the gut affects so many parts of our body.
Yeah. And another thing that I really love about our supplements is the safety aspect. So when Sam, you're talking about how your kids have colic, my first thought is, well, you can give your kid the probiotic. That little pearl, there's lots of babies that have had really good testimonies by taking that probiotic, like 1 or 2 days old. Like you can just soak it and give it to them, and it helps tremendously. But I wouldn't be so quick to recommend like something to like a 1 day old, 2 day old, couple day old, if I wasn't sure about the practices of the company or the integrity of the company or something that's such a precious life. So that's one thing I'm really thankful that we have a really solid company that we know that we can trust that stuff for our even really young ones. Okay, well, let's talk hormones just for a little bit. Okay, moms, we do this when like the second we get pregnant, maybe even beforehand, like monthly cycles, or if we're like trying to get pregnant for a while and then you get pregnant and then you have a baby, it's like we're never ourselves, never feel ourselves anyways, because those dang hormones. So what are some things we can do to replenish our bodies to get us more flatlined instead of doing this all of the time?
Well, one of those, our hormones affect, every part of our body. I mean, you think about so many different things, and, you mentioned mood. I think I briefly mentioned libido, weight loss. I mean, there's just so many things, like our stress and how we respond to stress, and the effects of ongoing stress on our bodies. And so we just have kind of, like, not to continue to repeat myself, but what's really important, like I said, is the diet. Is our diet. How many vegetables and fruits are you having in a day? We really need to be having 6 to 9 servings a day. And again, the protein. And then sleep is such a big one. And unfortunately, that's just, we got to do what we can if that's just not an option right now, and just in terms of supporting our body with the best nutrition. And so there's also, if you've ever heard of like evening primrose oil or things like that can help with hormones. We have one that's called GLA. And so that actually uses borax seed oil because it's more absorbed by your body. It's a higher percentage of gamma linolenic acid. And so that actually helps to regulate your hormones. And that's just like a tiny little gold capsule that can help women like with all kinds of things, whether it's their cycles are not normal, or maybe it's really, yes, your skin, or maybe it's really like really bad PMS or things like that. So that's a really good one. And again, you have to look at, are you low in vitamin D? Have you been tested for your vitamin D levels? Things like that. So yeah, kind of affects so many different parts of us. So
good. Sam, anything that you left out that you want us to cover that was really helpful for you when you were learning about being proactive in postnatal depletion?
No, I mean, the strip was kind of what changed my life. Just all the combination of all that goodness and how it's delivered so uniquely. And the stress relief complex obviously is still a must for every mother. But yeah, it was just about what gets depleted in your day-to-day life, and how to, fill back that cup, fill yourself up. So, because after a while, I mean, there's nothing left to give, and
and to
nobody wants that, mama.
Yeah.
No. And to not stop taking your vitamins after your baby or after you're done nursing. Because I know for me, with my first few kids, I'm like, I don't need this prenatal. I'm done.
Right.
I'm not pregnant or nursing.
Yeah,
But
totally.
we know that, we need to replenish and refuel for up to 10 years to continue to take those.
Oh, Christine? No.
Does anybody have any questions before we end? We have 2
She was
minutes.
going to try to be on it, and then it didn't work.
Tiffany, I think you, do you have a question? No. Okay. Well, I think
On the floor behind you.
there's a special coming up for that little strip and for the protein that we talked about tonight. So if you have questions about, like you want to try something, just let us know. Or if you have more questions about anything that we talked about tonight, we can definitely dive into whatever area is more
That would
specific.
be my face.
With that said, I just want to thank you all for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Good stuff. And thank you, Lauren and Sam, for helping to organize this.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Night.